I knew he was doing it right. We're recording. I'll make sure everybody can see Rudy. Yep, everybody can see Rudy. Rudy, jeepers, Rudy, this screen of mine's going nuts. There's Wendy McAleer logged in. Gardner's logged in. Sylvia Strain, that's David, isn't it, Sylvia?
I think, yeah, that's David's wife, yeah.
Andrew Strani, Tom Sheehan. Happy days, Rudy. You're going to be famous before this is finished.
Oh.
So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the recommencement of the lockdown Pitlane walks. Sorry, it's been a wee while, but from the season started, I decided I would have a couple of weeks, or as I think it turned out, about 5 weeks off. But it hasn't mean I've been doing nothing. I have been working away in the background, trying to get the regulations ready. They have gone to Motorsport UK to get our permit for next year. So things are all moving on quickly. Whilst you are sitting with your feet up, us coordinators are working hard in the background. It's been a while since we've spoken. Sadly, in that time, we've lost one of our great local legends, which was a very sad point for the loss of William Heaney. So William, as everybody knows, was a great competitor, great supporter of the championship, great man in TSCC who brought us Coltraw Hill Climb at the museum and has done so much other things over the year. He was also a speed committee member for a while. So thoughts all go out to William's family at this time. What we will do now, as you can see in front of me, I have, I don't know what, is that a reindeer sitting in front of me? So I think what we'll do is we'll ask the reindeer to introduce himself and we'll take the crack from there. So, Mr. Reindeer, over to you. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Rudy Tate, so I'm probably best known for sprints, bit of rallying, so I have over I'd say the last 13 years or so. Done a lot of co-driving and stuff too, and now just mainly at sprints, so it is, and having a bit of fun. It's all about a day's crack, so it is. So that's
happy days. I'm just getting technical support here in the background as we're working on. That's me now. And for those of you that are wondering why that's not my name under my picture, I've actually borrowed somebody else's Zoom. So Grace, if you're watching, anybody knows Grace, she hasn't suddenly turned into me. It's her Zoom I'm using. But anyway, sorry, that distracts. Rudy, start from the start. What car do you drive?
At present, I'm driving a Locust Mega Blade, so in the sprint series in Class 7, and I duel it with Andrew Strani, so do, and we have some great battles between ourselves. It's usually pretty tight. We're just struggling getting on to the Chuckle Brothers, East Hawthorne boys now there, and Jim Hutchison. These boys are a bit quicker, but maybe we get an upgrade of an engine in the future. You just never know what could happen, you know. That's
Well, without sounding cheeky, Rudy, I've said it in the past. If you would stop and round about Rudy, and more like straight like Strani, the speed would come. Although I've noticed now, and if he's sitting watching this, I think he is, he's probably cringing waiting on this. Am I not correct in saying the last 2 times out you beat Mr. Strani?
I did indeed, yes, I did. I set the gauntlet down just to see if he could get me. Seems to be working, so it does. He's chasing hard now.
So the pupil is chasing the teacher, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or is it the other way around?
Well, I'm not. I'd say it maybe the other way about, so it is.
Just sort of thinking that. Did he not lend you the Astra and you beat him in the Astra one day too? Or have I got that wrong?
We'd done the sprint last year in the Astra, so we did one of the last sprints, and he actually beat me out, in fairness, but it was down to hundredths of a second. It was that close, like, so it was. I think he was sweating throughout the day, like, so he was. First time I ever in it, first time a front wheel drive car for me at competition, and it was good fun. Like, so it was. It's always very tight between us, no matter what we get in. It's down to hundredths of a second, like, so it is. It's a good day's banter, like, so it's.
I would dodge him now after keeping him going.
What's that, sorry?
I say I doubt I'm going to have to dodge him now after keeping him going.
Oh, definitely.
Well, Rudy, an interesting question here. what got you involved in motorsport in the first place and when?
Well, I sat and I had a wee think about that sort of, and I would say what got me interested in motorsport would have been probably late 80s, early 90s as a child. I was maybe the guts of 8 or 9 years old, and Mervyn Tate and my uncle Dennis McMullen had built an Avenger to go rallying. And my dad went up to their first event at Ballymena Showgrounds, and we went up to watch. And I remember in one of the service breaks, and there's a photo floating about of me sitting in the driver's seat. Can't even see over the steering wheel in that Avenger, and that just started the bug for me. I just says, I want to do this when I grow up. And ever since, it sort of stuck. Then I got very friendly with a fella you would know, but you maybe wouldn't know his name. The Bald Stig. Have you ever heard of the Bald Stig?
The Bald Stig?
The Bald Stig. That's Stuart Strahan. So it is. He got a big banner put up outside his house for his 40th birthday one year. The Bald Stig has turned 40, but we don't know who has done it, to be honest, Davey, but he mightn't be too far away from looking at you. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But I got very friendly with Stuart, and as you know, the history with the Strains in motorsport, started going over to their shed. They just lived about a mile around the road from my parents' house, and just started going around to the shed and helping out whatever way I could. And then eventually they asked me if I would get my co-driver's license and sit in with them. So again, first outing was with Noel Strain and the Mighty Nova, which I'm sure you remember.
Oh, I remember that well. That wee Nova's still on the scene, if I remember correct.
Yes, I think it's Kevin McLaughlin has a wee Nova now, so he has. But
yeah.
Well, that was my first experience in motorsport with Noel now, and it would have been the New Year's stages, I think, 2007, and headed out. So they'd never done a rally before, and this front wheel drive Nova. And all I can say, I can remember coming up the loose in it the first time, and I thought I was sitting in a Mark II Escort. He was throwing her about all over the place. If you remember in the New Year's stages, they used to put a chicane halfway up the loose.
Yeah, that was the spot to watch from.
We were coming up to the loose, so we're David, and Noel is sliding every shape. So the first time through the chicane, he takes my door mirror off, clean off.
That's the stuff you're looking at yourself.
Oh yeah, fixing the hairs, you know what I mean, David?
Oh well, hairdressers and all that.
Well, you know what I mean. But so Noel laughing away, never even phased him. Out round the next time, coming up the loose again. Nova sliding about like a Mark II Escort through the same chicane, but does Noel take his mirror off and puts the side window around himself? He didn't even lift out of her as hard as he could get to the finish line. It was. So that's where my experience started, sitting with Noel. So it did. Well, I also mind Andrew Straley would have lived not even a quarter of a mile from me. When he started in his early days in the Nova, like I mind standing out watching him testing, all legally, like up around the road testing the Nova before an event and stuff. So it just the area I grew up in was just motorsport thriving. So it was. So it was near a sure thing that I was going to get involved in it. It was. So,
because you live about a quarter, half a mile in from the start of the first stage when they had the ERC round here the last time at, it's gone clean out of my head, the mill.
Yes, Buckshead stage.
Ballydrugan.
Yeah.
That stage.
Yes, I do, yeah. That'll be one of my all-time favourite stages, Dave, is what it is now. When it's on your own doorstep and you know it like the back of your hand, like, but I'm sure if you've watched a few of the in-cars, Andrew was co-driving for me in the Sunday, and as he said when he got a few notes wrong, he says, not that you're listening to me anyhow. I knew the stage at the back of my hand, so that it's a brilliant stage now. So it's very, very fast. So it is. So there was a few scary moments.
How do you think poor Andrew felt?
I can still hear the few wee things chirping in my ears. So I'll just not repeat them.
Well, we just you're talking about Andrew as your co-driving. In all your days, have you had any other co-drivers?
What's that, sorry?
In all the events you've done, have you ever had anybody else as a co-driver?
No, it's always been Andrew. Andrew's. I have to take my hat off to Andrew. Like, I built the Sunbeam, so that it was a fast car, and I never had road rallied in my life. I one wee event beforehand at Bishopscourt, and into the hot seat to do the Circuit of Ireland in 2014. Fair play to him. He was a brave man, so he was.
Well, I've heard a wee rumour elsewhere that you struggle to get people to sit beside you. And even in your professional career, you've pulled up at the bus on occasions and people won't get in beside you.
I was doing a bus.
Is there any truth in that story?
There was. As you know, I drive for a bus company, so do. I was doing a bus run, so I was from the station till another station, and I come round the bend, and this guy was standing with a hand out, and I stopped to pick him up, and it was a dummy outside a car wash. Dummy with a boiler suit on, standing outside a car wash. He wouldn't get on, like. Once he seen it was me driving, he run on back in and started washing cars again. That's the bald Stiggs told you that.
Absolutely no comment. Absolutely no comment. Well, tell me this, Rudy. What was your first competition car?
The first competition car was actually Chrysler Sunbeam. So it was. When I bought it off Gary Tucker, it had the history of the car. I bought her off Gary Tucker, and she had a Ford 1600 Z-Tac in it, 16 valve. And I started in 2008 and done a sprint in the car, so I did, and then went on to do Bishopscourt Rally, and decided then, brought Willie McDowell on board, so that to upkeep the maintenance and look after the car. Looking well, Davis, you are looking well.
It is Christmas.
It is, yeah. And unfortunately, the tail end of that year, the sprints for the Sunbeam, it sort of, at one of the sprints at Kirkerson, she went a bit flat on me. So of course, Willie, he worked and worked at her. Eventually got it down to she needed a new manifold, new set of carbs and stuff. So interesting story. Like, eventually Willie got her all set up and decided to put a 5-speed gearbox in her, and put the gearbox in. And I had went to Montgomery and lifted a quick shift gear stick for it. And the next day, actually, my cousin and me went up to fit the gear stick, or to get Willie to put the gear stick in, and he screwed it in while we were there. And he says, "Do you want to take a run down the road and see what you think?" And I goes, "Yeah." And he says to my cousin, who had actually sat in with me in road cars just in his younger days, he says, "Do you want to go with him for the run?" And my cousin says, "No, I've sat with him in road cars. There's no way I'm getting in the rally car with him." And Willie McDowell says, "Sure, what's the worst could happen?" So cousin thought about this, so he jumped in beside me. And Willie, he says, "Now clean them brakes on the way down the lane." So down Willie's lane, up the road her on, the wee car was screaming. She was going great. Come back up the road, and well, I'm sure you've been up Willie's lane, Davis, you have. So when you come into Willie's lane, there's about 6 or 7 S-bends at the start of it.
Oh,
So
yes.
I was a wee bit eager, so I was, and I was coming up through every one of them sideways. And on the last one, she just stepped out lovely. And next thing, she just bit me and kicked around, total Sunbeam, like what they do. And there's a wee stone wall, and I just mind hitting the stone wall, seeing the sky, and I rolled the Sunbeam up Willie's lane, so that I took the front wheel clean out of her, left her on her roof, climbed out of her, and come walking around the corner. And Willie, he was coming down the lane, and he says, "That's not good. She's went very quiet. What's happened?" I says, "Willie, I put her on her roof." He couldn't believe it. He walked around the corner and he just went, "Oh my God." So I racked the Sunbeam, so did. That was my first competition car. So, and that's what my cousin got for getting in with me. Yeah.
Now, was that the famous Yak 950T, or was that her predecessor?
That was the Yak 950T. When she took that eventful role, she ended up being built into what I would call one of the ultimate sunbeams. She was.
Yeah.
There was a lot of work went into that car. There was 3 or 4 years went in there, and basically escort running gear in there. So there was tractive sequential gearbox, Vauxhall red top in her, 2 litre 16 valve, 15-inch rims. Just it was a good car. So it was, Nadia. So very fast car, very fast, and Wally fabricated it all, and just unbelievable. So it was. He's a genius at building them and setting them up. Like, so yes.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, yeah. Now, suspension wise, she didn't run any of this fancy Proflex rigger or anything like that. She had Bilsteins in the rear and a set of gas in the front. And Wally had done all his measurements and had it set. And as Andrew Stroney will tell you, sitting in her, you could have went up any wee road, bumps, anything, flat in 6th gear. And that car, you wouldn't have felt a bump in her. She just soaked them all in and never kicked or done anything. She was fantastic. So it was real good car. I wish I still had it today, but that's the way things go. So it is.
I remember that car being up there when I first started going to Willys for work, and I fell for it. Actually, fell for another one that would have been up there too at the time. You've had the jammy shod you've been able to sit in too was with Andrew White.
Oh yes, the V205. Yeah, good car, brilliant car. So this, yeah, I've done a lot of co-driving on that wee car, Andrew. Been very fortunate even to co-drive with them in their father's Mark 1 with the Millington. Fantastic car. It's
lovely.
Just something different. So it's unbelievable. So this very fortunate to be sitting in them.
Yeah. So you had Yak, and you did bits in Yak 950T, and you did a bit in the wrong side of the car for a while, didn't you?
Yak came out in 2013, so she did, as the big cars, I call it, the ultimate, and I done from 2013 to 2016 in her, 2 Circuit Ireland rallies, a lot of other wee rallies, sprints, whatever else I could do. I was very fortunate to do the first Festival of Speed in her as well. So it was. Actually, it was. I remember it well. She was sitting parked up, and this guy and his wife just started showing wild interest in it, and I actually got talking to him. It turned out he owned Yak 950T, and I found out the whole history of the car. He imported it from Wales from a rally school, and he rallied it for a while. Then I think it was Raymond Mason had the car. Then Gary Tucker ended up with the car. Then it come to my hands. So it was nice learning the whole history of it. But as I say, I done it my last Circle Ireland in it in 2016, and a property come on the market for sale. So I decided, look, I was 35 years of age and stuff. I says I'll put the rally car in the house, so I sold it. So I did, and from that then I started to co-drive with Andrew McCormick. So I did in the Vauxhall Chevette, and had some great outings in that car. So I had with Andrew.
Andrew's some pilot.
Yeah, drives it hard, drives it very hard. So it is, and real nice guy, real nice guy. So it is. But we in 2016 it actually had happened. We'd done the circuit, and then Andrew had decided he wanted to do the Manx National in May. So he couldn't get a co-driver, and he phoned me and he goes, would you fancy co-driving? And I goes, I've never really read notes. He says, it'll be fine. We'll go over and rack it, it'll be fine. So the way the Manx works, you fly out you get the boat, on the Wednesday. So we spent the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday racking, and then you started on the Friday night. And what an event, unbelievable. So it is, if you had one rally to do, the Manx is the rally. It is. I've never done an event like it. I hope someday to have a car of my own again to go and do it. It is class. So as we done the national in May and got third in class, which we didn't expect. And loved it that much. Went back in September and done the international, and
Okay.
ended up winning our class. So it did, and finishing in the top 20 overall, I think it was. So we were pushing hard. And it didn't come without its wee scares. Now there's Brandywell Cottage. After it, there's a couple of bad bumps, and on the first day you come up the hill over the bumps. So Andrew and me was taking them absolutely flat. So we're sixth gear. So when they reversed it on the Saturday, when we were coming to them, in our head we were coming up over them flat. So we went down over them flat. But in the middle of the second one, she had a wee compression, and she kicked herself up and threw the back end round. And there's just a drop over the mountain. And I can just mind pirouetting down the middle of the road. I actually threw the notes down the floor and done that because I thought we were going over the edge. And she just grazed off the bank and spun back round, facing the right way. Andy let the clutch out and started. And away we went. And I had to try and get the notes scraped to the floor so I did to get going again.
I would say you were
my biggest one. So that just took me a wee stage or two to settle again. So it was a.
I would say you were scraping. I'd say you were scraping notes, more than notes that day.
I'd say that was the biggest one I've had, to be honest. It was scary. It was, but just luck was on our side. We just glanced off the bank and she just come back round. As nice as you ever see. It actually ended up in the TVs, but it showed it on the coverage. Yeah, showed it in Channel 4 in the coverage. So
right.
That was a big one.
Was that the international or the national?
I think it was the international one. So it was.
The big one with everybody watching us?
Yeah. And we still went on to win our class by I forget how many seconds. So that
happy days. Happy days.
That was good.
Because you've had a lot of success in the left-hand seat as well, haven't you?
Yeah, actually, I'll be honest with you. Like I sat with Andy, but before Andy, I would have sat with David Strain and as we mighty 205, as you know, David.
That thing's too mighty for my liking. I think, chef.
Good going car, David. Good and such a great driver in behind the wheel. He's so steady. I've never sat with anyone as steady. Yeah, me and Davey would have done a lot of the New Year stages and stuff, and I had a lot of success with Davey too. And I remember one day we actually finished, I think we were second two-wheel drive home behind Fenton. So we were 1 year, and great results in that wee car too. I've sat with, as I say, I've sat with Davey, Andrew McCormick, Andrew Strachan. There's Harry White, Andrew White, Rodney White. I sat with Rodney 1 year at the New Year stage as well in the wee Sunday. It was a good experience too. Rodney's some driver. So yes,
yeah.
He pushes hard. So he does. Definitely. But no, I've been very fortunate. Had some good seats. So I have definitely. But,
you're a lucky man. Well, moving you back into the right-hand side, you had Yak, and then what did you progress to?
I had Yak, so I had, and as I say, I progressed to buying a house. But the bug never leaves you, daily. It never leaves. So one night, I had a bit of a yarn with Andrew Strachan, and next thing, an MX5 come home. So
you bought a hair salon?
I heard a hairdresser's car, an MX5, yeah. Went and done a course in cutting hair and all before I bought it. And so we bought the MX5 just and done a few wee tweaks and stuff to it, Andrew and myself, and decided with dual entry in the road going class. And I can honestly say it has been one of the best years I've ever had in motorsport. Because it was again a battle between me and Andrew, and we took he took the championships, we did, and I finished runner up, and it was mighty. And I'll be honest with you, I've often said it, I think I probably learnt more last year driving an MX5 than I ever learned driving. When you have something under par and you have to learn to carry speed, that's when you start to learn how to drive. So it is, and it's progressed on. It's Andrew and myself, like it definitely, it was a big year. It was some crack now, so it was. So
you boys had some crack on that motor. Like your first round of the year was Nuts Corner. Was that not the really wet day?
Yep, it was.
That's the day I went plying as well, isn't it?
Here, talk about plying. There was like, oh, it was split. It was so tight between me and Andy, so it was down to hundreds again. And I said to Noel straight, I don't know if you've heard this story. I says to Noel, last run, I says, where am I going to make it up on him? And Noel says, see that bottom corner. And this was before you had went playing. Noel says to me, when you're going down into that bottom corner and you feel like you want to break, you count to 3, then break. So I come down into the bottom corner in the rain lashing. I felt like I wanted to break, so I went 1, 2, 3, break. She locked up, Davey, and I done the same as you, straight into the kitty litter, ploughed her in, so I had to get pulled out. So I got her pulled out, get back in round, Noel stopping. Noel says, what happened? I says, I come down and I listened to what you said. And I says, when I felt I wanted to break, I counted to 3. He says, you didn't count quick enough. That was Noel's answer. You didn't count quick enough, he says.
Oh, brilliant. Quality. But from that first round right up to the last round, the pair of yous come on leaps and bounds. You've never got any further apart. Yous were always chopping and changing for thousandths of a second here and there.
Yeah.
But you were slowly but surely moving your way up the timesheets. You were doing so well. It was great to watch from a spectator point of view.
Yeah, as I said, there was no go in the car whatsoever, David. But what I learned in carrying speed and driving is, see, for any young fella, if I could give them advice starting out in motorsport, it's not go and buy yourself the best car, buy an underpowered car and go and learn how to drive it to its absolute limits. See, when you can drive that to its absolute limits, then you take yourself to the next stage. And last year was fantastic to this. In fact, I would still love to have an MX-5 here. That's to be honest. See, for the sheer value, it is brilliant. So it really is.
I know that they are a brilliant wee motor, and it's not right me keeping you going all that year about having a hairdresser's card of it. I've been in them as well. I had a run with Richard McCartney in one.
Yes.
Great crack. The crack of me trying to get out of it was unreal. But they are a fabulous motor. You watch what they do in Targas, they're absolutely bomb-proof. They are the ultimate beginner's car.
They are. They really are. If anyone would come to me and ask me advice about starting in motorsport, I would say go get yourself an MX-5 and learn how to drive it, and you'll have the best fun ever. So you will, and it costs nothing to run them. They're so easy to run, Davey. So that's to be honest. But, a good set of Toyo proxies on. See them first events when Andrew and me was doing them. It was scrap road tires we had on, sliding about and flipping. Oh, there was no grip at all. It was unreal. So it was. And then
you're blaming the tires.
Yeah. It's always the tires, David. I never buy a new set of tires. I'm always sliding about in rubbish. So we put a set of Toyo proxies on. The difference it made was unbelievable. So it was very good. But
so you moved up from it to what you have now. Do you want to tell us a wee bit about it?
Yes. Well, as part of the championship last year, we had to go to Marshall to get our points for the championship. So
yeah,
Andrew and me had went to Eagles Rock to Marshall on the Hillplane, and we were stands for first few cars went by. Next thing, it was either David or Stephen Hawthorne come up by us in their Megabusa. The two of us looked at each other and went, that thing can go. So as the day went on, every time I come up by and we're watching the times, like the boys were up there with it, like, and we were like, that thing's quick. So I come home that night to it and started doing my research in them and messaged Stephen. So that's Stephen Hawthorne. And within, I think it was a week or so, had got talking to Andy, and he says, you'll love this car. And got the wee Locust Mega Blade off Andy Hawthorne. So that, and as Andy described it, it's unreal. So this, the wee car, just, I've never, like, the Sunbeam was quick. but that's just a different league that we car. Like, so it is the running Avon slicks. The corner speed you carry in it is unbelievable. I've never felt anything gets up and goes off the line like it. Great driving car, very easy drive and fun. That's very fun, a lot of fun. So it is, and very low, not that much maintenance, like easy enough run. So it is. So really enjoy it now. Just need a few more GGs to catch these quicker boys in the class. Yeah, the
Well,
blade,
you
the
were getting the
hard
hang of it. You were getting the
I
hang of it at
think
the end of the year.
I think Andy may be pretty close to the limit center now. I think the next step will be at some point probably a bigger engine to try and match the twins and stuff. Stephen and David and Jim, it's hard to get the times in. Like, them boys have the see when you're running a Hayabusa like the twins is with about 240 braking, or it's hard to catch that when you've only about 130 yourself. Yes.
Would you be starting a bell bit here? Oh, well, happy days. So what have you been doing with the car over lockdown? Or since the last round, whatever way you want that.
Well, the last she was put into the garage from the last round, and I'll not tell you a lie, I haven't really done anything, David. I've been busy at the house here and stuff, and Andy may have a few wee plans, so I have, but nothing sort of progressed yet till in the wee car, just so I have with another engine sitting, but we just haven't got around to doing anything. So whether it gets changed before the start of next season or not, I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. So we'll just next year it'll be out maybe with the same engine and just try and get a bit quicker with it, and then probably Hayabusa at some point. So it will be. But
I heard a wee rumor you've perfected Nuts Corner in the wet.
Well, there was a big moment in Nuts Corner in the wet. So we it must have been before the first sprint. Andy and me decided we'd just have a wee test day, so we wouldn't go out and make fools of ourselves, in the wee car. So of course, the day we went to have the test, it was absolutely bucking. So it was. All I had was a set of Avon slicks. So it was. So not that would deter me or anything, Davey. Like, when you're a rally man, you don't do a bit of flying, you don't. So out we went, and as the session went on, Andy, he came out for a run, got in beside me, and he could see himself. I was starting to get into the swing of her and getting a wee bit more committed and faster and faster. And the way the clutch is, and then because it's a motorbike engine, it's still the hand clutch, but you have a pedal, so you have. So if you touch it at all, she just can rev up. And I mean just slightly touch it. And we come out of the bottom corner, Davey, so that when you're doing just a test session, you don't go into the wee kink or anything. So it's just flat to the top. So as we come up over the top hill, probably 5th or 6th gear, was into the wee dip, just as I come up over the hill, my foot just slightly touched the clutch and revved her up, and she just broke traction. Well, I was about that there from onto the grass at the top, and Andy and me both thought we were gone. And once I got her gathered up after a bit of steer, all I heard from Andy was, "Let me out of this thing." He wasn't sitting in anymore. He wanted out. So it was another big moment now. So it was a great learning curve.
Oh, very much so, very much so. Tell me this then. I suspect I know what the answer is going to be to this, to be honest with you, but what was your favourite event and why?
Well, I'm going to give you two. Sprint wise, for me, my favourite event is St. Angelo's. So that is just unbelievable. I done it last June for the first time ever, and that in sprint, that is unbelievable. So it is just so fast, but at the same time technical, having to get into the wee chicanes nice and tidy out to really, really enjoyed St Angelo's. So that rally wise, enjoyed doing my own Bucks Head stage, so that in the Sunbeam, but without doubt the Manx. If any rally man hasn't done it and have a bucket list, get the Manx on it. It is some rally to do. It really, really is. I definitely hope I'll be back at it someday. So it's fantastic. So it is, and very well run. So it is. You go over Wednesday, and you do your recce, scrutineering's done, and out you go on the Friday night, and just everything's run just clockwork. It's so good. It is so, and real fast stages, very fast. So some of them's like motorway. It's that wide, like it's like doing a sprint on the circuit. The roads, like it's, you get onto some of them, it's flat out in sixth gear. So it is. So Manx would be a very good one, definitely.
One to look forward to. I've been a closet at the Manx Classic. I wasn't competing, but Paul was, and it was fabulous. It was a 4 or 5 days in the end. It was fabulous. So I know where you're coming from, but I'm told the Manx is the ultimate.
It is. Honest. It's brilliant. So it is. I'd advise anyone to do it. So it is. And the beauty about it, see with the Manx, David, when you pay your entry, your boat and everything's in your entry, so it doesn't work out that dear. So it does. They're very accommodating. So when you pay your entry, that's your ferry and everything across. So if anyone's interested, it's worth looking into. Like, so it is.
And let me guess, if it's anybody quick with a spare navigator seat, you're game to go.
Give me a shout. Not a problem.
Well, tell me this then, Rudy. What would be your most memorable motorsport moment?
Probably for me was finishing runner-up last year with the Mazda MX-5 and the road going class 1. That was a big moment. Like, I enjoyed that sort of. So I would say for me, would be collecting the trophy for finishing runner-up behind Alma after a good fight the whole year. So that would be a good memorable one for me. And probably the Circuit of Ireland was, as a child, I remember watching the Circuit of Ireland and always wanted to do it, and I done 2 of them, so it as well. So what?
And you talk about the circuit there, it's coming back to me now. I mind actually talking to you on the start line at Bucks Head, and you could not wait. You were just absolutely bouncing, couldn't wait. And your helmet just wouldn't contain your smile. Like you were really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Bucks Head stage is just unbelievable. Like people talk about Hamilton's Folly and stuff. I love doing it, but Bucks Head is just unbelievable. So there's a lot of people would be probably in the same frame of mind as me. Like, that's a good fast stage. So it's enjoyable now.
Well, you mentioned there you were so proud to come runner up. If you're a betting man, would you be tipping yourself to beat Andrew next year then? Are you going to get your own back on him?
Oh no, yeah, definitely. You know, you have to be confident in these things as you do. So I'll be going out next year all guns blazing, like, so all to try and beat him. Definitely. As I say, we'll probably not take a championship or anything in the class zone, because these Hawthorne boys seem to have that showed up, like. But for the dual entry between me and Andrew, like, every day I go out, I want to beat him, so do. So no offense, Andy. You had to be.
I'm gonna have to dodge Andy like the hammers now. I'm in for it, all this, giving him all this grief. Well, Rudy, tell me this: who would be your motorsport icon and why?
I would have 2 icons forward, and unfortunately they're no longer with us. The late Bertie Fisher. As a child on the stages watching Bertie was unbelievable. The Monta, the M3 BMWs, right into the Subarus and stuff. Sierras, fantastic. Loved. I was a big Bertie Fisher fan to us. And my other idol would be the late Colin McRae. Just as growing up watching Colin coming through, taking his world championship in '95, which was just the anniversary of it there not that long ago. Like, just amazing. Colin was on something else, like it was, and I sadly missed on the stages. Like he was a great ambassador for the sport, like so he was.
Both of them were. Both Bertie and Colin were both.
Yes, they both were. Both were great ambassadors for the sport, like, and true gentlemen. So they were. So that was my idols now. So
Good. Okay. Well, tell me, if you could drive any car anywhere, what would you like to drive, and where would you want to drive it?
you're gonna laugh at this, Daly. I've actually thought about this. I would love to drive a good Millington powered escort. So on the Bucks Head stage. I would just love the experience of a Millington because having sat in one, the torque that is in them cars is unbelievable, and I would just love the experience of driving one. So that's, to me, the Bucks Head stages are unreal. That's if I could get a run up through it and a good Millington escort, I'd be a happy boy. So
and that would be your ultimate then.
It would, yeah, it definitely would. That smile you seen at the start of the Bucks Head and the sunbeam, that smile will be there again, I can promise you. So,
good. Well, if you could then get a run with anybody, who would be the ultimate person you could get a run with, and in what car?
Again, for me, Davey, I think it only happened last year, would be Craig Breen in his dad's Group B 6R4 Metro. I remember watching the in-car for that, and it was unbelievable. And if I could get a run in that car with Craig Breen, I would be a happy boy. So he was driving her hard, so he was. But I would love that. I really would love that. So.
And do you reckon you'd be able to call notes to him, or would you just be sitting there in awe?
If he wanted me to call notes, I'd take a go at it. Well, I could keep up or not would be another thing. We'll try. So,
have you ever managed to get a run in a 6R4?
No, I haven't. It'd be nice. Be very nice.
I blagged one at Goodwood when we were crossing 18 through the rally stage, and it's an experience. It's the acceleration, the heat, the noise. It's everything you expect it to be and more.
Yeah. I must admit now, I blagged a run there a few years ago with young Mark Francis in Davies Escort, Cosworth. It's unbelievable too, so isn't it? It was wow. That's a quick motor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a 6R4 would be nice too. That would be real nice. It was bound to be some noise in her, Davey, when you're sitting in her.
Oh, it's unreal. It really was. The heat was unreal. There's Joanna's some good photos of me. I must send them later on, but I got out of it with a face the colour of your t-shirt.
You hadn't that Santa beard on you at the time, do you?
No, I was thinking more up around the arm, the redness of it. Trust you. Definitely some experience. Well, tell me this. If you won the lottery, there was 175 or 195 million lottery on Friday night. If you'd won it, what would you go out and buy and why?
I would say if I won that on the lottery, I'd be probably quite happy so with a good ultimate spec Mark II Escort, Davey, so
would you?
Yep, I wouldn't be greedy now, so and I'd be happy with a good Escort, so would probably Millington powered, tractive gearbox again, sprints in it, probably a few rallies and just enjoy it. I'd be happy with it, so that would be my dream. Always rallying was me, like, and I'm a rear wheel drive man, as you know, so I would go for a Mark II Escort. So
yeah, but I'm glad to hear you saying you're a rally man, but show just how much passion you have for the sprints. So there's a lot of folks seem to be along the same lines. What What's your big attraction to the sprint? Why do you enjoy it? Just what?
I'll be honest with you, the sprints for me is it's just the atmosphere. You just go. The day's crack around the paddock. No matter who you talk to, should it be the Hawthorns, should it be the Strange, should it be yourself? It's just a day's crack. There's a bit of banter. We'll go out, we'll help each other out. Oh, it's just the sprints is just fantastic. It's sprints would be my main sport now, so it will be, and it's just a great day out. So this, and everyone's so friendly and helpful. So this, I just love it. So like I bought that car off Andy, and every event now the Hawthorns have a spot kept for me, because they're down usually the night before or whatever. You just arrive, get the car off, the crack starts, you have a laugh the whole day. Just sprints are brilliant. So this, and so the dual entry too makes it. See, when you're having a battle with somebody in the same car, and as you watch this, Davey, when it's so tight, it's down to the driver who wins it. Like it's the car's identical for us both, so it's down to the guy driving it who's winning. That there makes it for me too. Like, so it does. It's a good day's crack. So nice.
Probably you stop speaking to each other now when it starts to get tight.
I would
teasing each other and all that.
I wouldn't do any of that. I'd crack like Davey. So not often. But no, in fairness, Davey, there's yourself and there's a few other working behind the scenes, and you have brought the sprint back on the map again. So you have it's a great championship, and I enjoy supporting it, and you have done a brilliant job in getting it known again. It's talked about. So fair play to you, David. You have done a great job, and those working behind the scenes with you as well. Well done. You have done a great job.
Thank you. We just do it to try and, as you say there, to take it forward and get it noticed, and it seems to be working. So long may it continue.
Yep. Like the entries this year was unbelievable. So it was, as soon as they were going live, it was just full. So it was.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there. Yeah, no, listen, all joking aside, it was brilliant to see. It was brilliant to see, like, and everybody was enjoying themselves. It's great. But like, it's great to see you boys having so much fun as well. And there's a few guys there. When I first started doing this, you look down the paddock, those who've been doing it for so long that are so well known, like Jerry and McArty and Davy Francis and Ken Colbert and Alan Jardine, all the legends of the sport. And then there's the guys like yourselves that are new to it, that are having so much fun and crack. And as you said, it's the whole atmosphere. And like, I love coming up and looking for you just to have a bit of crack and take the mic and carry on and see what we can do. And it's just great fun.
It is. Yeah, it's fantastic. Like, and you go home from the event and you nearly talk about it the whole week after. Like Andy and me will be back and forward messaging on our phone. It's fantastic. Like, it is. There's a good buzz about it again. So it is, to be honest. So.
There certainly is. And hopefully things continue to go as well as they are, you know. If we get a full season in next year, it'd be brilliant.
Well, hopefully they get this COVID sort of, we can run things again. Like it's been a tough year, and you done great. So you did the way you run it through the year. Like it hasn't been easy for you, and you got it up and going. And it was running perfect. It was running absolutely perfect at the events. Fair play to you.
Well, thank you. If you were looking at upgrading again, what do you reckon your next sort of upgrade would be? What would you be looking to move to next if you decided to get rid of the low cost?
I'd say if you were going down that line, it would probably be into a single seater of some. I'm not sure what, but it'd be single seater. You'd something a bit quicker. So it would with a wing on it and front wing with a bit of downforce. I think you would have to go that route, like so you would. But again, maybe a Mark II Escort too. If someone come up with the money, I'll go back to the rally class at the Sprints. I would and see.
Well,
see if I can get near Mr. Strain. So I could.
Good luck to you with that one.
He's a quick man, so he taught me a lot. So he has over the years, young Stuart. So he has. He's very good. Like he's given me a lot of good advice on how to do things and what way to do it, and it's paying off. It's paying off. He's a great driver. So he is, in fairness, he's a very good driver. So, but we'll see. You never know. There could be an escort at some point, David. But to be honest, I'm enjoying Class 7 too much. See the crack in it. It is a fantastic class. It really is. There's just so much. It's so tight. You've the like a Jim, the twins, the two Hawthorns, David and Stephen, like they're up there, and then you have the McNullans and Andy and me down Batman as well, and it's a great class like to this. It's very good.
Yeah.
So,
and then you've Graham Boyce reappeared this year again.
yes.
Well, that's Dax. He has in a Honda Dax, and he's going really well.
That's a quick car too. Yep, it is. It is.
Devon, this last couple of years, it was a class that had sort of leveled off, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's just up the level and going.
Yeah.
Like Jim had a couple of top 10 finishes this year. Maybe he can correct me and say it's higher.
Well, I know. Yes, he did. He had a couple of high or good place in finishing. I'm not sure where, but I know that thing is unbelievable. Sort of, a run on that would be nice too. That's a good going car. And sounds magnificent when it's out in the track. It is brilliant. So this, and Jim can drive it. So he can. He's a great pilot on it.
Just actually, when I think about it, Class 7, the new specialist category that was brought in this year. Now, Jared won it at the end, but there was 3 points covered the top 3. Jared, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I hope I get it in the right order. Jared from David Hawthorne, from Jim. Now, I hope I've got this right way around. If I've got that wrong, Stephen will be chasing me saying it was me and not David. I'll start it right. But like 2 Class 7 cars up there and so close at the end of the year.
Yeah. It was like even the top 3 in the class at the end of the year. There's very little splitting them. Like, it was unbelievable. So it was. And as you say, to finish within the specialist category, unreal. So it's unbelievable. So it is. So the fair play to the guys. They go hard. Like, they go hard.
Oh, they don't have. Oh boy, they don't have. You want to. I've done with Marshall a bit as well, as you know, and I've done a couple of hill climbs. And see some of those 7s going up like Garantar, and oh boy, they're crazy, brilliant to watch. Crazy.
I done Garn this year, so did. And I think Stephen Hawthorne was sweating a wee bit at the end of the day because he thought I had beat him and he had finished last in the class. But he nipped me, I still finished last. So, there was very little in it from what I remember.
You all did really, really, really well.
Yeah. We had a good run this year, and we definitely did. We had a good run. But Garn was my first hill climb, like in that we car, the Mega Blade, and it just took a few runs, and unbelievable how quick you get up the hill. Like, it is unreal. So it's good. Hill climbs I enjoyed it, but the sprints are good too. Like the sprints it's just more relaxed. You just enjoy the sprints. But it was a shame we missed St Angelo's this year. I was looking forward to it in the new car. So I was getting a run. I enjoyed it in the Mazda last year, but just the way the whole thing panned out, it was just a shame. It was an event I was looking forward to. It was.
Yeah. I must admit, I enjoy St Angelo. I've done it twice.
Yes.
And this first year, everything was a wee bit tighter than the second year. And the second year, when you come up, not Chicane Gate, the main straight, when you come up the other one heading towards the paddock, you went back on yourself left, and then you went right onto the centre runway. And that to me is just that was just the motorsport corner. It was just unreal. As quick as your tires would let you go, and as other things, and as quick as you could go into it and out of it, it was just superb. St Angelo, brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant event. So it is, David. Brilliant. So fingers crossed we get going next year at it. It'll be good. So it will. As long as
I think
COVID
from
doesn't.
memory, I think it's June again. I was putting the dates in the permit on Friday night. I think it's June. So here's hoping.
Fingers crossed. Definitely.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, this is the interesting question, Rudy. This is the one that everybody's probably tuned in to hear, to be honest. Who do you want to see interviewed next?
Well, I'm going to throw two out, Davey, so if you can get either one of them.
Right, okay. I've got the pen sharpened. Look, where is it? Here,
You got the pen ready? Well, the first one is my right-hand man at the dual entries, who's another, the history in motorsport is unbelievable, would be Andrew Stronach. So it would.
Dead on, yeah.
And if you can't get Andrew to do it, another man who would have a big history in motorsport, rallycross, Mr. Sideways himself, Norman Harvey.
Norman Harvey, dead on.
I would have known Norman a long time, and Norman has a good pedigree in motorsport, and it would be very interesting to hear some of Norman's stories from it too. So what? So
not a problem. If any of you have got the good ear of either of those two fine racing gentlemen, start tipping them off, start persuading them, and we'll certainly look into it. It would be great to hear from both. Actually, I'm thinking on it now. If I could get Andrew on, it'd be great to do the two years together at some stage. Maybe after you've turned the tables on him and you have a championship apiece then. Maybe one for a couple of years' time. If you're still speaking, that is, when you start getting to thousandth of a second here and there, maybe, you know.
It's a bad job, but you don't end up speaking because you don't fall out. You don't fall out over that, so you just
no, definitely
you just go out the next time harder and try and beat them again.
Definitely not. So, what's your plans for Christmas and stuff? Anything exciting? You're not going to go and start rebuilding the car and getting stuff ready to go?
Well, a few days off over Christmas, so maybe starting a wee check over and see if there's anything needs upgrading or anything done, like and just probably a quiet Christmas here at home, so it will be. And that's it. Then get to the new year and start prepping, because it'll not be long coming around to the sprint season again. So
no, it doesn't. It flies.
Yep. It just as Andrew Strong and me always say, it's a long winter when there's no sprints. It's great to see them start.
You're right.
So this, you really miss motorsport, like when you're not at it, to be truthful.
Yeah.
So
we've had a request here. A special question has come in. Nigel McCutcheon wants to know: are you sorry you sold the Sunbeam? Would you rather have had the Sunbeam or the house?
Well, my answer to that, Nigel, is the Sunbeam was great, but you can't sleep in a Sunbeam, so you can't. No. It'd be lovely to have the Sunbeam sitting in the shed still, but the house was more important, I think, as I say. That's to be truthful, Nigel. But a mighty car, so it was. But I'm enjoying the Mega Blade. The characteristics of driving it be very close to the Sunbeam, like, so what she would handle some. When Willie built the Sunbeam for me, I said I wanted like a go-kart. To be truthful, he delivered on it, like so he did. She was very good, and the Mega Blade would be very close now. So a bit quicker, but handling wise would be very close. Great handling car.
A question that's maybe not really possible to answer, but driving both, are they similar to each other to drive? Are they miles apart? Is there anything you could carry from one to the other? What's your thinking?
Personally now, as I say, the Sunbeam, it had attractive sequential, flat shift, everything. I have flat shift now in the wee Mega Blade, so I have all that. So in gear terms, driving terms, everything, very similar. So it is. I would love the Sunbeam back now, because what I had learned driving in the Mazda and the Mega Blade, I would love to actually transfer that into the Sunbeam, and I reckon
Yeah.
I would be a hell of a lot quicker. So
Right.
that's. But again, the Sunbeam was so. That's probably why I never really. If you went in somewhere and you were wrong, she had that much power in her, Davey. You just hit her and she went up and went again. So you didn't have to really learn how to carry speed in that car because she was so quick and so responsive. Whereas now, what I've learned, I would love to transfer it into the wee Sunbeam to it because I think it would be a hell of a lot quicker in it. So, but a fantastic car, so it was fantastic. But
Power to weight and all that. Surely the Beam and the low cost are in and about the same.
be running very close to same brakes. So what? Yep, would be as you say when you put the power to weight ratio of the Locust, very close to the Sunbeam, very close. So, well, I got her when I got the Sunbeam mapped. Robbie Thornton. So was she was 280 brake and 210 foot-pound of torque. And then I got Stephen of Dino Tune, Stephen Galdadur.
Yeah.
And fairness, Stephen seemed to get a nicer torque band in the car. She was just totally different to drive. See, from down low right up through the range, the torque and it was unbelievable. So it was. So it was a good car, now, so it was. But power to weight, very close, very close. So it would be. It was between the Locust and that. Like. So just
Would
seemed
the
to
Beam
be.
had? Sorry, go on ahead.
You just seem to be the Locust corner speed's the thing in it. You carry so much more speed around the corner in her compared to the Sunbeam. You do. That's really where you're making it up with her. So yeah. So I'd say the times I'm doing in the Locust now, you know, maybe you're close in the Sunbeam, like, but I don't think you'd have done them, like, to be truthful.
What comparison driving the two? Was there one that would be harder or easier than the other? Are there characteristics in one that carries or doesn't carry, that sort of thing, or what's?
Again, they're both very similar, David, to drive. Rear wheel drive setup. As I say, Sunbeam you would have just had to watch a wee bit more. She would have been a bit more snappier. So she would have compared to the Locust. The Locust, when she steps out on you, it's so easy. You can hear just steer on the slide with the Sunbeam when you snap back around on you. You just had to be careful, like see that. And then I don't know when the Sunbeam built for the an Andrewstron I was in her a few times, had an awful issue of a throttle sticking. And I know any man out there that's raced or a rally has a throttle sticking. That's when you realise what torque is, because it was unbelievable. It happened to me a few times even at Kyrgyzstan, so it did. I was heading up towards the canteen to turn in, started the brake, throttle stuck. She'd have just pushed you on up the track, so you had to actually hit the kill switch to knock her off.
Holy smoke.
No, I was actually I done a test session in Edit Nuts Corner. Wally and me went up to do a test, and I think it was about the fourth run round, just coming across the horseshoe. So it was. I went to turn in, throttle stuck, and I ended up across the grass into a tire wall. So that.
Holy smoke.
First day driving her. But there were wee things just had to be ironed out, Davy Silver.
Yeah. Well, Nigel McCutcheon's back, and he says he would quite happily have put a mattress in the back of the Sunbeam because she was beautiful.
he had a slap on her, okay.
Oh, with the height of Nigel probably would have been able to lay across her nice and comfy.
I'd say you could probably get Nigel lying across the seat, so you got all the height of him. You know what I mean?
Aye.
He not
up on a wee ball.
You could have got him squeezed in, so you got to.
And my dad would tell you Nigel would have no problem sleeping in a car.
Right? Is there a story to this, maybe? Is there?
No, he gets in when he goes to an event. He gets in and he gets nice and comfy. And he just boom.
That's it. Out to the count.
And Rodney White's watching, so hello, Rodney. And Rodney's he's dropping you hints here. He says, "I know where there's a good Sunbeam for sale, really."
I don't know whether the bank balance would stand there at the minute, Rodney.
Oh dear. Well, Rudy, listen, you talked about doing stuff over holidays and all. Last question I'm going to ask you, Hank, and then I'll let you get back, is have you any plans for development for the car for next year? What are you looking to do?
Probably try and get a wee bit more power out of an engine. That would be the biggest thing. We're lacking horsepower, Davey, so we are big style. So if we can get something sorted in that line to try and match these quicker boys or be knocking the door on them, I'd be happy. So I'll have a chat with a few boys and see what way I can go, but that would be the plan. We need more brake horse, so that's so, whether it happens or not will be another thing, but we'll see. So
I need to pre-warn the Chuckle brothers and David and Scott McMullen and Jim then that you're coming for them.
Well, I'll definitely be trying. So I'll definitely be trying. No point in not trying.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. That's really good to hear. I think Joanne has maybe come back. Somebody has asked something else here. She's just writing it down for me. Am I right or wrong, Joanne? Oh, she's gone. No, if she comes back into something, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, Rudy, I just want to thank you for agreeing to do this. The crack has been absolutely mighty. Oh, she's right. She's got something here. She's writing it down.
It's been my pleasure, and it has, David. Definitely.
The crack has been absolutely mighty. I apologise about asking you about the non-paying passengers. You took a mouthful of tea. I didn't know you were going to take a mouthful of tea as I started the sentence. Oh, no. And, I absolutely love the bald steak. That's one that I'm going to have to wind up.
Well, I think that should be a new one whenever he gets back to the sprints and you're doing your wee sprint report.
You just remind me about that one. Johnny and David, if you are watching, you remind me too, guys.
He loves that name, sweetie. I was like, he absolutely loves it, David. That's why I had to bring it up. So then. In fact, I have to thank him for reminding me about it when I was speaking to him on the phone last.
Oh.
he sank himself, so he did.
Oh, did I? Well, it's his own fault. It's his own fault. We're going to have to try and get him onto this for a bit of crack.
Definitely. He'll be another good man. Like, so he would,
Oh, dear. Well, listen, what we're going to do is I'm going to scoot on here and let you get back to what you're doing. Rudy, I said all along, this would be a mighty night's crack. So I certainly think it was, and I hope everybody else does too. Rudy, listen, thank you very much. The crack was mighty. You're an absolute star. Thanks for agreeing to do this. My intention is to hopefully have another one next Sunday night. I haven't quite got a victim lined up yet. I tried to phone a fella earlier on. I haven't seen him on. Unfortunately, I only have a Facebook number for him, but I will keep trying. If you see a missed call on Facebook from me, you know who you are and you know why I'm looking at you. He'll probably turn it off. So watch this space. I aim to have another one next week. I always said I would do these again once the season finished. I had a wee bit of time off, get a bit of break myself, and we'll do a few now over Christmas and New Year. Rudy, or Santa, as you are here, you're an absolute legend. Great way to start it off. I was dead nervous about doing these again. There wouldn't have been anybody better to start it with, someone like yourself that we can have no shortage of light-hearted crack with, and it was just superb. So thanks a million.
Thank you, David.
From myself, everybody motorsport related, Rudy, and to everybody else as well, happy Christmas, happy New Year.
Yes, happy Christmas to you all too, and everyone else. From my house to yours, very Merry Christmas.
Don't forget to keep the revs up, and we'll see you in Nuts Corner on 6th of March, if my memory serves me right.
It's definitely the start of March, David, yep.
Somewhere in and around there. Anyway, Rudy, you're a star. Thanks a million, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, David. Thank you.
Okay, just bear with me and stop.